Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Noobicus Maximus.
I'm Kryptic Enigma.
And we filmed a lot for our
In a
Mammoth
cave.
Cave trip. A lot in the cave, like 4 hours of raw footage.
Yeah.
And after several hours of raw footage in a cave, which doesn't always work, we came out with about an hour of heavily edited footage.
We were in the cave for about 12 hours. So,
yeah, we kind of
12 hours in the cave, 4 hours of footage, mostly done by me. Because, well, you'll see why.
I can't walk and shoot at the same time.
Can't walk, can't film at the same time. Can't walk in a cave. He stumbled multiple times.
And when you trip in a cave, it's not like there's someplace soft that you can land.
Well, and that in our first tour that we did was exceptionally dark. I mean, super, super, super bad. And warning, this is a hand cam that was like cut into little mini clips of what we could actually see. So it might jump around a lot, and
you can only stabilize so much with what we're doing. So if you get seasick, grab a bag.
Sorry. We did our best stabilizing it, and because honestly, I was like this on some of it.
Yeah, she was. She's sitting there like she's got the camera, like her cell phone, straight over her head trying to film something. I'm trying not to fall to my death, but...
and he's telling me not to film.
Yeah, I'm telling her not to film. She's like, no, this is beautiful. We are both sick. We are both very, very sick, as you can tell from her voice and the fact that I haven't shaved
I've got
in a week.
the much deeper voice. For some reason, it's picking up a lot better on her microphone, too, because of my deeper voice, so...
It is.
Hey, bonus.
It is. So, all right, we're gonna
start. Basically, how we're filming this is we're watching what we filmed and what we pieced together, and we're going to make comments. And there's some of the comments that are actually going to be original, so we're going to try very hard not to talk over those. So.
Yes, and since she's the editor, we can always find something.
I know he passed it over to me. Woo-hoo.
She's good at it. I'm not.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so let's go.
Not helping me take a picture.
I'm gonna take top.
This is not helping me take a picture.
No, it's not, but it's adding a level of humor that I'm enjoying. Yeah, not gonna see much.
Nope.
Now the first clip was we were in the cave on the walkthrough. That's the third part of this. And she was trying to take a picture, but she was cold. No, she's in there with like a sweatshirt, pants.
No, that one I forgot my sweatshirt. I thought because the day before I was actually too warm, I didn't actually have a coat that day.
Right. Well, she had a lot more on than me. I don't own shirts with sleeves, so I'm in there in a pair of shorts at that, shaking her, and that's where that's coming from. This is the intro to the cave, actually.
This was there was a section that was a self-guided, and you had to walk through that to get to the historic tour, which is what we were actually doing that day. And you'll see little bits of equipment as best as we can show it. But that was actually where they would mine saltpeter.
Yeah, I have no idea what saltpeter is. Just don't eat it. It's bad for you.
Yeah. But they would mine that, and I guess it was very good exporter for them or something like that.
Yeah, and they made a lot of money off it. I think it's an ingredient in gunpowder.
Yeah, actually. I believe so. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a chemist, and I don't know anything about gunpowder, but I seem to recall them saying it was a ingredient in gunpowder, and that was one of the things that during the Civil War and during other wars that they actually were exporting, and that was helping to make the people that own the cave have a lot of money. Now we're jumping between different angles and different views here because that's jumping between different cameras.
Yeah.
The ones that are full screen is mine.
No, actually all of these are mine.
These are all yours?
No,
okay.
Because you stopped filming in the first one pretty much when you said, yeah, not going to see much. So all of this is mine. I unfortunately, there a little quirk with how dark it was. I could not see which way my camera was. So if it was upside down or right side up, couldn't tell. So I had to flip some of these because they were upside down in the editing process. So you'll see some that are kind of have a box around them. And that's basically what I had to do.
She's been editing this for a really long time. It's been actually kind of funny.
Yeah, we actually filmed this in July.
Oh, we filmed this in July. It is September.
So
no, it's not September.
It's October. So, yeah, it's taken me a long time.
We've also had a hard October. We've had a hard summer, like on a personal level.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of tragedies and things like that. So
Yeah.
we've had a lot of emotional stuff. Oh, these were part of the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a comment coming up, but
Yeah.
these stairs were funny. I got a fun story at the bottom of these stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So they are very pretty, though.
They are. Yeah.
I want to see the dates of the people who signed these.
Watch his head.
Which, you can see like names and signatures, stuff.
And I promise you'll actually be able to see that a little bit later. There's a couple of them where I'm actually stopping to take an actual still photo while I'm filming it.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to see them, but basically you are not allowed to sign them right now. But they did in the past let people sign their names on it. So,
and they did so intricately, like with
yeah.
paint and a stencil.
Yeah, some of them are really, really intricate.
Well, there was that part where I nearly killed myself. I came
Yeah.
up with the worst possible way to get through that.
There's my hand.
Yes, it is.
This really is not pleasant for people over 2 feet tall.
I went through that part doing the limbo, and I'm like halfway through it, like this is the dumbest way to get through this.
Yeah, I was like this, like a smart person, but here he is going backwards.
That staircase, my knee was giving me a lot of trouble, and I had
yeah.
to pop my knee into place.
Mm-hmm.
So I waited to be the very end. So the only person that was behind me was one of the rangers and Kryptic.
In that one, you can kind of see a little bit of the names, like on the roof there. There's like a whole bunch of black, what looks like almost scorch marks, but those are actually names.
But I knelt down to pop my knee into place. And I've never popped it in a cave before, so literally you just heard this snap that just echoed through the whole cave. And the rangers sing, they're like, wow, that's different. It's like, it felt great.
Yeah.
There was an electrical box. There's a light.
There's a good depiction of the names.
That is. I can't read any of them, but...
There's C Pro something.
And there's like layers upon layers upon layers.
Oh, yeah, there's another batch of names.
It's almost like a tease because they're there, but we can't see anything.
Really deep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
Don't want to drop my phone.
Do not want to look straight down.
That too. But he was teasing me, saying, don't drop your phone, don't drop your phone. You'll never get it back. Don't drop your phone.
What's funny is if you do drop your phone, they actually will give it back to you. They will send somebody to get it. It'll be months later, but they have to remove these things from the cave. So every time some knucklehead like us drops a phone down a 100-foot shaft...
Which we did not.
We did not. But every time somebody does, they have to send somebody down there to get them so that they don't pollute the cave.
Exactly.
So,
which is very important. You know.
It is important. This was a beautiful cave.
It really was. Unfortunately, with lightening it up a little bit, I was hoping to keep some with the natural film. I really couldn't, unfortunately, because it's just too dark. But some of the colors were just so gorgeous. And you can still see a little bit of the brilliance, but it is much more brilliant color on the plain non-brightened footage. So.
And I remember this cave, like the day that we were in there in this cave. It wasn't
There's
hot.
a good one in the name.
Yeah, there's a good one in the name. It wasn't hot, but it was muggy for some reason. The rest of the cave, any other time we were in the cave, it was not muggy. But there's a couple of shots of me in this, and I am just sweating like crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think this was also the one that had the bathroom at the bottom, wasn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Running water.
It was the
Flushable
nicest
toilets.
bathroom. It's like 200 feet underground, too.
Weird.
A super modern bathroom. That was an achievement for me. I never knew that I had a life goal of having to pee in a cave. But once I found the bathroom in the cave, it was like, I have achieved a goal I didn't know I had. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
I talked about that for hours. The Rangers hated me.
Yeah. Well, you said that it sucks in air.
In winter.
They did say that it was winter and summer.
Yeah.
But it basically balanced the temperature year round. So it wasn't just one season or another. It was year round that it balanced.
Yeah, it's about 57 degrees a year. Now, one of the reasons we're commenting on this instead of using the actual audio, these
Most
groups,
of it is, oh my god, the steps. Yeah, that's mostly commentary, which you don't want to hear.
It's not out. The funny part is it's not out of me, and it's not out of her. The groups that they took through here are hundreds of people at a time. So you are in a massive group of humanity. Most that just want to get through the cave. It's like they're in a sprint to get through the cave. Nobody stops to look at anything.
Which makes no sense because it's the journey that's so pretty. It's not, you know, the rest of it. I mean, we'd stop in a big room and talk and sit, but it'd probably be the most boring room in the entire thing, which, mind you, they were still pretty, but, like, another pit. Beautiful.
Yeah, one of these pits, one of the rangers, I think it was Ryan, made the joke that Mammoth Cave has the world's only 101 foot deep bottomless pit, which I found amusing because that's just how I am. But
you can kind of see the brilliance of the color on that shot there. But
most of the audio that we cut out literally is just other people's children screaming.
Or stomping.
Or
shuffling. Or
the metal stairs
oh my God,
that
Noobicus,
were on
did you
shaking.
just fall?
Yeah, her asking me if I fell. I didn't fall once. I only banged my head once. I almost fell several times because my knee just kept giving out on me. But
that was mostly the next tour, though.
We had a ridiculously long downhill walk to get there, and my knee just did not like it at all. You know, as soon as you say don't look down, it's human nature to look straight down. Yeah, what we're actually on here that I said that is it's a fire tower. That's inside the cave to get up this vertical shaft, and we're like 4 stories up through something that you could look down on. And this person 3 or 4 things in front of me goes, "Don't look down," and everyone after them is going, "Huh?"
They were telling their kid not to look down because their kid was afraid of heights, and oh man.
What was funny was I am afraid of heights. I am terrified of heights. And the heights here didn't bother me at all. Probably because they were so narrow. If I actually fell, I wouldn't go anywhere. I was having trouble moving down it on purpose. On accident, I wouldn't have a problem.
It was super tight. They also had a tuberculosis house in there that we saw during this historic trip. It was actually supposed to be really helpful to its patients.
No, it wasn't.
No.
That was one of the things they said was it wasn't. They thought it would be, but
it ended up not doing
the idea was, you know, if you put a bunch of people with tuberculosis in an area where the temperature is the same, the humidity is the same, the moisture is the same year round, it doesn't matter, that it would help with tuberculosis. Well, it's not how tuberculosis works, so they all died anyway, but...
Well, they also had, like, patients that were in, like, the later stages, too.
Yeah.
So
at least they were attempting it.
Yeah, they were trying.
They were trying something.
So, one of the other things that we had to cut out was, it was my birthday on the day that we did this one, the first tour.
It was.
And they had a old-fashioned lantern that they let me blow out to depict darkness, how dark it actually was in a cave. And so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. What was really cool was she blows it out, and the candle goes out, but the cave is still lit by everybody's cell phone.
Yeah, because they were trying to take a picture of pitch black.
Yeah, they're trying to take a picture of darkness, which is like, you idiots. So it took like 2 minutes to get everything out, and he's like, Mammoth Cave is the quietest place on Earth. Just listen. And all you hear is this kid scream from like God knows how far away.
Yeah, I think this one's better lit because of the chasms of doom.
Yes, this one is now the Chasms of Doom, and it was much better lit. We did
a cave entrance of sorts.
It's more like a bomb shelter.
Yeah, I know. This one, they actually had doors to help regulate the actual natural flow of airflow for this one.
Yeah, so it was much cooler in this one.
Yeah.
Keep in mind also, this was during the summer when it was like 110 with 100% humidity. We were miserable outside, and inside the cave was not always better.
Yeah. These are very narrow.
Yes, they are.
This one...
You get an idea of the kids I was talking about in the background there.
Yeah. This one was very, very nice. It was very well lit, especially in the beginning. Near the end, they kind of reduced the amount of lighting due to the amount of algae, unfortunately, they were having in this one. But yeah, it was very well lit. So
this is Domes and Dripstone's tour, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all of this. This is really pretty.
I do understand now why he put his nephew down here.
He didn't fit? Yes, the guy who found it lowered his nephew down.
And it's like a 300-foot straight down. You're on a stairway, but it is the world's narrowest stairway. I mean, I'm not a small guy, but I was going through sideways just because my hips
I was
were
going
too
through
wide.
sideways too. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not narrow either, but I had to contort to get through it.
And
so.
yet the ranger that was following us up was probably twice my size and did it like it was nothing.
Yeah. So.
Holy moly. Okay.
Some of these, you can see my camera looking down. I am not.
Yeah, this was funny because, like I said, I'm afraid of heights. She's not. She was having fear of heights issues. She's claustrophobic. I'm not.
I'm not
and
claustrophobic.
I was having claustrophobic issues.
I'm not claustrophobic. I've never really had claustrophobia issues. What my biggest fear is, though, is more being on man-made objects over pits.
Holy cow. These steps are slippery, and I am not trying to fall.
They were really slippery. They were metal with a grating, but there
Over
was
a pit.
moisture.
Over a pit.
But you couldn't fall because you couldn't fit.
I could. It was over a pit. I don't think zombies could make it down here, to be honest. I think they would hit their head and fall down first. Yeah, we had a batch of like about 10 kids behind us debating whether or not zombies.
And that was totally my fault. That was totally me. I thought it would get them to shut up. I was wrong.
No.
So now instead of having, this group of quiet kids behind me, I had a group of anxious kids behind me. So as I'm trying to look at everything around me that is just so beautiful and so hard to film, I've got all these kids pushing me because they're afraid there's a zombie behind them.
No.
Yeah, I'm just praying that my arm is actually getting some of these.
Yeah, that's because I'm doing this or this.
She was. It wasn't like she's filming in front of her. Her arm was everywhere.
Oh my god, look it up there. That is so gorgeous.
Some of these shots are actually straight up.
Mm-hmm.
And the part about this that I hate doing this in an actual group is everybody, like I said, is trying to push you through so quickly. Mm-hmm. And there are spots where there was a crack in the wall. It was maybe this big. And I'm just walking, you see nothing but rock, and then you get to this crack, and it is 80 feet straight up. Nothing but this area where water is dripped down, making this beautiful, like, waterfall area. And then another inch or so, past this crack, it's just nothing but rock.
But yeah, I'm trying to do this while walking and making sure that I'm not falling and, like, kind of thing going on.
And it was really hard to navigate. I had to take my cell phone off of my belt and put it in my pocket because I couldn't walk down the stairs with it. I was banging at everything, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, it was tight. I was like going sideways and...
Yeah, if I drop my cell phone, it's like 300 feet straight down onto rock the entire time.
And no driving blog.
Yeah, no more driving blog.
No driving blog.
This is the same trip as our other one. We had intended to post these together, but we both got sick.
This one just got so... This one was way more complicated. I edited both, the blog and this one. And this one ended up being... Aww. Yeah, he's usually saying, oh yeah, I'll cut this part out, or I'll cut that part out. And I'm like, I'm editing it.
No,
Why are you saying that?
She's the editor from now on, pretty much. She's got more time and she's better at it.
Well, thank you. I do have a degree in it. Anyway. Yeah.
We're still going down the stairs here.
Yeah,
It's like the first half of this tour is just this down staircase.
And pits.
And pits.
Yeah, we're going down pits.
Oh, geez, that's a deep drop. How are you?
I'm eating a smaller butt.
Yeah, we're gonna have to lean again. Whew. That's pretty.
If you didn't hear me when she asked how I am, my comment was that I need a smaller butt, because at that point I think my butt was actually stuck. And I had to like squeeze to get out of what I was in.
Yeah, I'm not looking down.
I was.
Watch your head, it's getting a little low for the taller ones.
Now when she says low, she means like here.
Yeah, I was like, but yeah, my camera was looking down. I was not. I was holding on to. That was me slipping, by the way.
And I'm teasing her this whole time behind her.
I think they said 250 going down and a little over 3 going up. But yeah, a lot of steps. Oh. Whew.
You can hear the kids.
I did not quite expect to be affected by my height thing this much at this point. Whew. Okay. I'm
Completely honest at this point, I would almost feel better if you put your phone away.
Not happening. This is gorgeous. Oh. Okay.
If you fell down there, you would die. Okay, Mom, I feel comfortable like this. Landon!
Okay, yeah. I only have mild fear of heights, and that was getting me.
It was bad.
Yeah, it really was.
But that's my major thing with heights is if it's a man-made object over a pit, especially if it's like a grate, no.
And that part there, I mean, the claustrophobia got me because I'm going through an area where my stomach and my back are hitting the rock at the same time. And I'm like, what happens if the mountain bumps? I mean, I'd just be squashed between them. I'd be dead beforehand. So, talk to the ranger later. That doesn't actually happen.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Alrighty, back into the tiny.
But yeah, it was really one of those really cool things. And like I was literally holding on to the handrail and like holding my step and just going, okay, I'm hoping this is getting something because I am watching my feet.
And the whole time I'm behind her just laughing at her. I don't have my phone's in my pocket. I film squat because I know if I try to film, look at a cave and walk, I'm going to die. So I can only pull off 2 of those at once. And probably only 1 successfully.
Well, I'm glad I did this though, because this is...
You got a lot of footage. Like I said, 90% of the footage that we brought out of the cave, she filmed.
Maybe closer to 95.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Now, everything in town and going through the cars, it's reversed. Well,
I was
95
driving.
of it was me, but she was driving.
Yeah.
So you guys can comment you can leave a note in the comments as to which one of us is the better filmographer.
Well, obviously you are, because I'm like, I'm not gonna fall. Oh dear God, height's horrible.
It was high.
Yeah, it's really pretty down there.
You can hear us puffing because this entire time, she said at one point it was like 250 stairs down, which it was about that, and it was like 350 up.
Mm-hmm.
Problem was 250 stairs down were almost literally
all
at the
time.
same point.
And this is where we're starting our way up.
Yeah, but it was like you'd go up 30, and then you'd walk for a little bit, and then you'd go up another 50, and you'd walk for a bit, go up another 60, walk for a bit. And so you were always tired during this thing. It was beautiful, but you were just always so tired.
Oh yeah, most of this commentary is just like, are you dead yet? No, okay.
And what was funny was before we go in, the ranger was giving us a lecture on, know your limits. There's going to be a lot of stairs. It's going to be really tight. It's going to be really high. Know your limits. And then said, give an adult in your group all of your tickets so they can give them to the ranger. And I give them to her immediately. And looking at the ranger, I'm like, you are the designated adult because I know my limitations.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is like, okay, if you are claustrophobic and you're afraid of heights, this might not be your a tour for you. I only had mild, so I didn't think it would be an issue, but holy cow.
Yeah,
I
like
just-
for me, I am afraid of heights. This didn't bother me because, like I said, I was just physically too big to fall.
I think
Yeah,
mine.
even if I fell, I could just do this and support myself just because it was so narrow.
I
But
think
the
mine
claustrophobia got me.
I think mine hit mine specifically. It's like man-made object, giant pit. Like right on the nose, customized for my phobia.
Yes. We were extending.
Oh, what we got over here? It's a little bit in the corner. Pretty. Very unlevel. Very pretty.
And that was one of those places that I was talking about that it's just this tiny little crack that you have to stop and look at. But the whole time you've got this
Nobody.
mass of people pushing you forward.
Yep, nobody.
So I was trying to block for her. Whenever I saw her stop, I would stop because I'm, like I said several times, I'm a big guy. I don't move.
Well, you're also about the width of the entire path.
Yeah, so nobody's pushing past me, especially if I brace myself.
I mean, literally, the path was about the width of my shoulders. So, I mean...
And it wasn't that high. We were all crunched down and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that. I only banged my head once. I don't think she banged her head at all.
Nope. I got this close.
She's taller
But I
than
did
I am.
not. Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
look like it from this vantage point, but she is taller than
I
me.
am about an inch and a half.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, okay. Super pretty.
super large amount of steps.
Yeah. Now, one thing you might notice, like you can see it right there. There's a little patch
There's
of
a
green.
lot of green.
That's actually
in this area.
algae that's
Yeah.
growing in the cave because the lights are so bright, and the people coming in there are bringing in so much moisture. And that's a bad thing because there's a lot of things that live inside this cave. There's crickets, there's owls, there's other things. And a cave cricket, I really want to see a cave cricket because they're like this big, but their legs are like out to here. So
Yeah.
they'll eat that instead of going out. And it's the equivalent, like the ranger said, them eating the algae, yeah, they can live off it, but it's the equivalent to them eating nothing but potato chips. You know, it's just junk food.
Well, like the section that was super well lit with the pits, that part was fine, but then they had to dim up the lights for the algae a little later on when it was safer.
Ooh. Okay. Gonna take a second to.
Charlie, check this out. This is pretty spectacular.
I think that's above me.
It is, yes.
Up ahead, this.
Yeah, so there's some reference.
So, what are your thoughts on this one?
That I'm hot and I'm sweaty and you're filming me. And that was pretty much what happened. There are numerous places that got cut out just because they didn't show up. But like, I'll be sitting there on the verge of like passing out, and she'll be like, "So, what do you think?" It's like, I think
What is your political state of things?
Yeah, that one made it in there. It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, they had to darken some of this area, but overall, this one was much better lit than any of the others that we did.
It was hot though. I mean,
Yeah.
it was cool in the cave, but you were doing so much. You were just sweating like crazy. My shirt was just plastered to me. I was just covered in sweat. And then outside, we walk outside, it's like 110. And it was just, it's lovely but miserable at the same time.
Yeah.
She can throw me across the room if she has to.
I can catch him. He will not fall. I will be the one falling.
Somebody commented, because I tripped, my knee gave out on me and I almost fell. But of course, I didn't just almost fall onto a path. I almost fell off a cliff.
Into a pit of doom.
Into a pit of nothing but jagged rocks, because it's how I roll.
Yeah, I mean, they had pits of doom everywhere.
And she pretty much just grabbed me and yanked me back over with no problem whatsoever. And somebody commented that if I fall, I'll take her with. And it was like, yeah, I don't really think I will. She literally has thrown me clear across the room when we do martial arts. And without any effort or help from me, it's just, hey, my feet are off the ground. Whee!
I'm stronger than I look.
Yeah, you hold on to me because you're about to fall. You're saying I'm bad. Dear Lord, you've stumbled twice.
I didn't stumble. I just shifted and my ankle gave out.
Yeah, no, bad.
Same one both times.
Yeah, you hold on to me.
I didn't want to hold on to her because I didn't want to fall and die. But
I
my
wasn't
knees
going
and my
to-
ankles were really... I've got bad knees, I've got bad ankles, and both of them were just out of place.
I wouldn't let you fall and die.
I know you wouldn't let me fall and die, but I didn't want to take you with me. So, but yeah, we left the cave, got home, and immediately went to a chiropractor, and then a wake. So it was a
No, we went to the wake first, then the...
Yeah, then the chiropractor. It was a crazy weekend.
I wish I could get video of you filming this because that's truly the funny part. It's all the different ways you're controlling yourself to get your camera.
Well, I kind of have to keep my balance and...
Yeah.
In that situation, her hand was literally up in a crack, filming the inside of the crack.
I don't trust myself to film and walk at the same time.
Well, you shouldn't, especially since you've stumbled a couple of times.
There was one time he was making fun of me because I had both hands up on the camera. He's like, hey, you're not holding on to anything. I'm like, my hip's on the rail. I'm good.
Yeah, she's walking with her butt along the rail, and that was how she knew she wasn't going to fall off.
Well, it was close enough where I could have my camera switch over to this hand and I could grab it with the other. So I would have been fine.
It was a beautiful cave.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can see a little bit more of the algae as we start to go on. That was a big part in this area of the cave.
Well, and there's some sections where it actually kind of the darker patch, it's like it's green and then it almost looks purple. And I really wish I had the actual footage that wasn't lightened up because it was just like this beautiful. Unfortunately, it's just so dark after I rendered it. You know, we did a test render. I'm like, God bless it.
Now, we've rendered this thing 4 times at this point.
No,
More?
7.
7? Okay.
And I'm not even done.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how many hours she's put into editing this thing at this point. It's probably in the 20s at least.
48.
Yeah, because... No,
Huh?
close up.
Thank you.
Another one of those situations where I'm looking like my absolute physical worst.
Oh, you couldn't see. Oh, there you can see a little bit of the blue.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of the blue along the top there.
But yeah, it's like this brilliant, like royal blue. It's just like, oh, that's so pretty.
But that's actual algae and stuff
Yeah,
that's growing on the rocks.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be there. It looks gorgeous, but it should not be there.
Yeah. Well, and like the...
Oh, that looks like that'd be a bad fall.
It was just... The colors themselves are pretty. So...
It's like random pits everywhere.
Random pits of death.
And these tours were long. Like the first one was 2.5 hours. This one was 2.
I think this one was actually 2.5 to 3.
Yeah, they're long and they're not far. It's like, you
No.
know, this
Well-
this they say, you know, this hike is 3.5 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, contains 700 stairs and goes for a quarter of a mile. And you're like, what? But that's
I think we're supposed to be walking to the frozen Niagara entrance.
Yes, we were.
yeah.
But yeah, it was only a quarter mile, but yeah, the quarter mile I don't think counted the steps down.
No, it's just
Because
geographical.
it's like straight down or the steps
and then
and like
straight back up.
zigzagged. So yeah, it was probably much longer walking wise.
Yeah, it was a very long day, and we were very tired after this, but it was
That's
so
pretty.
worth it.
I think this one we did actually before the third one, which was the self-guided.
Yeah,
So,
self-guided was the last one.
that
I
one-
definitely wanted to do a self-guided tour because when you do a self-guided tour, you can, you know, I made a comment somewhere in here. I'm used to Eagle Cave up in Wisconsin, where they basically every single inch of Eagle Cave they've mapped out. So you walk into Eagle Cave and they're like, "Yep, don't fall," and that's
Yeah.
it. And
Well, in this one, you're death,
yeah, there's hundreds
maiming,
of
death.
miles of cave.
paralyzed, you know. Oh, hey, they can't find you because you fell into this pit.
But there is an area that you can just walk around in on your own, and that's the last part of this video. And that, to me, was what I really wanted to do, because I enjoy just being able to take my time and appreciate the fact, you know, you're in a cave.
That's the one where he filmed in.
Everything.
So, I mean, you can kind of see double laps where he filmed it and I filmed it. But, you know,
Yeah.
that was the only one he wanted to put in with because it was... He had a flashlight.
I did have a flashlight.
He got permission to use a flashlight.
It didn't help. I mean, it helped me see
Some.
the difference, but it really hurt filming. So there wasn't many things that I filmed with the flashlight that actually worked. More stairs.
That didn't really break.
A little bigger than Eagle Cave, huh?
And there's Eagle Cave that I referenced. And yes, it's enormous compared to Eagle Cave.
407 miles, I think they said.
And it's going to connect to another 300.
Mm-hmm.
They just haven't found where the connection is, but they know it's there.
Yeah. So, it's really, 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 really big.
Really?
Really.
Really, really?
Really, 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 really.
Really?
Really.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Really?
And that is where we came from.
That was a really long ways away, too.
Yes, it was.
And then you get to the end of this one, you're tired, and it's like, all right, if you want to look at the prettiest part of the cave, you don't have to, but if you do, it's an extra 150 stairs down and 150 stairs up. It's like, crap.
Which unfortunately was part of the darkest part of this tour.
Yeah, I don't know that much of the video footage came out.
Well, I lightened it and it showed up some.
Okay. Yeah, everything you're seeing has been video edited to be brighter and have better contrast. Every single frame that is in this.
The majority of it is the regular, just basic brightness increase.
Okay, this is hard to actually get like the major scope of this yet. This is absolutely amazing.
All we need is a McDonald's down here.
Yeah. We would definitely have a captive,
Market.
Yeah,
Is
and then
the word I was thinking.
Then there's me, of course, making jokes about we need a McDonald's down here. They had a bathroom.
And now you see the primitive electrical boxes. Unfortunately, I think it's a little too dark for the frozen Niagara.
You can see some of it, though. You did a good job of brightening that up.
Some of these I will probably brighten just a hair more. Looking at them, since they're clipped up, I can probably do individual touch-ups. I did basically the standard brightening on everything, and then I was going to go back after we rendered and mark which ones I need to brighten more, because unfortunately we're watching it right now on the preview.
Yeah.
Those are cool. Ooh, pretty.
But when it's rendered, it's darker than the preview.
Yeah, I haven't figured out why that does it either.
This is the drapery room. Yeah, it is not showing up very well, unfortunately. But maybe we can lighten it.
That's cool.
It was super pretty, though, when you were actually there.
That is the back of the frozen Niagara Falls.
But you can hear why we've muted the sound, because
There's
90%
so
of
much
this, there's just so many people talking,
Yeah.
you can't hear anything useful.
Is Noobicus in his natural form in darkness.
She had the camera again right up to me, but we were so far
It
underground.
was so dark.
And it was so dark that nothing came out of it.
No.
I'm not even sure if she had it aimed at my face, because
It was.
we've pumped up the brightness, the contrast, everything you can.
Oh, I didn't on that one.
I didn't.
That was.
I did at one point.
Yeah, I took that off.
Yeah, because it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Instead of it being a big dark blur, it turned into a big light blur.
Yeah.
Star Wars quote.
But yeah, some of these I'm gonna custom brighten. After
It's
I
very
get the.
pretty though. You did a good
It
job so
is.
far.
But yeah, this is just a basic brighten with a little bit of additional contrast. Yeah, hopefully, I'm trying not to over brighten because it really washes out the color, and you can kind of still see a little bit of the color variations even with the slight washing out. But you can see the hints of blues and greens and browns and golds and stuff there. So.
Yeah, this really was a fun trip. We really did have a lot of fun with this, and everything just... It was a really good escape in the middle of what was one of multiple tragedies in the middle of our summer.
Yeah.
We had a rough summer.
Very.
Slippery, by the way. Take a picture of this. No idea if it's actually going to turn out.
I'm like,
It's brightened.
you could hear me panting in the background. I was surprised how well I was able to handle this, because, I mean, I expected to be having more issues than I was, and I wasn't. So, that looks like it's straight down.
Yeah, it is.
This is on the way out. This was a fenced-in area where they just had...
Actually...
There's not a lot of stalactites and stalagmites in this cave. They have one forming, which they're so proud because it's literally this big, hanging off the ceiling. But they're like, yeah, we've got them. But in one area, they do have a whole bunch of them. The rest of the cave, they just don't have them just because of the way the cave was formed. So the ones they do have are fenced off because if you touch them, they stop growing.
Yeah.
So the oils in your hands do a lot of damage to the inside of a cave.
Well, like the ones around the frozen Niagara, some of them have been touched so much that they have stopped growing.
Yeah, completely.
So.
It's pretty. Oh my goodness, this is gorgeous.
And the beginning one, the beginning shot where it says Cave Adventure, that's the actual color.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is actually where I got my little sniplet for the intro one, is that little bit where I just sweep over and sweep back with the really spiky ones. And that you can kind of tell the difference in the color between those with that really brilliant bronzy copper brown in the opening picture is actually what it's supposed to look like.
What I found funny is that part of the cave is literally 10 feet wide, and that literal picture of all those spikes sticking down is in every t-shirt, book, picture that you find everywhere.
Well, the dumps and dripstone.
What?
There's just something funny about having a cave end in a turnstile.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is to help with all of the algae issues, is that right?
Kind of maintain natural airflow.
Okay. Survive the steps. How do you feel?
How do you keep filming these situations?
You can see just how much I was sweating.
It was a rough one.
And this is the guided tour.
point, though, I have
No, this is the self-guided.
Right, that's what I said.
You said guided.
90% of the cave, if not more.
Yeah, I think I have closer to 99% of our cave.
Sorry, Noobicus.
No, you were doing better in it. Now, there is some differences here. This is her camera.
Yeah.
But when you see it and it fills the whole screen, that's mine.
Well, I'm also noticing it didn't save when I added in some of the brightening stuff.
Yeah, well, we did have an issue where we lost the save, too. She's always telling me to save, and she didn't save.
All
and
that work.
what ended up happening was the program crashed.
I forgot to save before I rendered, and then it program crashed.
Yeah. So you might have lost a little bit.
Not too much.
But I still think it looks good.
Yeah.
Now, this part here, this was we walked past this probably 3 times at this point, this part of the cave. And we never stopped to appreciate it because we were in this massive group of people that was just moving forward. So we went through this part just to enjoy what it is, because it's really the act of being in a cave. I mean, you're outdoors, but you're not. Mm-hmm. And it's really this weird feeling. It's cold in there, but it's not. It's dark, but it's not. And it's a lot of fun for me. I really enjoy it. But this is my camera. You can tell there's a definite difference in quality between her camera and mine.
Yeah, mine seems to be a little bit higher.
Yours is much better resolution than mine.
I don't know why.
I don't either.
Yours is newer.
Yeah, but it's a crappier model. Mine's the lowest end model possible. What was that? I think I just walked in front of Kryptic taking a picture. Now, they said over in the visitor center that there's a bunch of different animals that live down here, including owls, a bunch of fish, a bunch of other things. The one I really want to see is a cave cricket. So it looks like a normal cricket. It's got huge legs.
Yeah.
What I find really funny is we've sat down and watched this while we're editing it several times. And I will make a comment about something that we're looking at seconds before the comment that I've said the exact same thing when we were in the cave.
Well, and I tried so hard to not really show him this before this, so we would get his first reactions. But the video that I tried to use it with was just so dark, and it was just like all over the place. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, I had to sit down and help her figure out how to adjust the brightness and the contrast because it's not intuitive. It's in the goofiest place. You did find it. You did find
both
it,
of them.
and we tweaked it. I helped you tweak it a little bit. Most of this is hers, but I take a little tweaking. Fortunately, it's so dark you guys can't really see the contour.
Yeah, you can.
Of the ceiling, which I know sounds like a stupid thing, but it actually is very interesting to see.
Fixed it so you can.
Yeah, she did. And what I'm talking about is the fact that the ceiling itself is not a flat piece of rock. There's a lot of bumps and grooves and ridges and shadows and things like that. And it's just so cool to see. And
well, part of it was that these were pockets of water that shaped these
yeah,
areas.
basically a river drove through this and cleared it out. Mm-hmm. It's not like a normal cave, which is formed by water leaking into it from the top. A river ran through this, carved it out, and then the river is moved, and what's left is the cave. That's why you don't have stalactites and stalagmites all over the place.
Yeah, yesterday I was too hot in here. This one time I'm too cold.
Yeah, it was so
no
hot.
coat. I didn't bring my coat because I thought it was so hot last time, and oh my goodness.
I'm wearing one of these.
Yeah. I'm freezing my tail off.
I have people coming up to me, they're like, you must be freezing. It's like, not really. I've got the air conditioner in our hotel room set to 60.
But yeah, I missed the bat. He was too tiny for me to see yesterday. I was so upset.
But I got a consolation prize.
Yeah, she gets to see a bat today. I didn't see either. And apparently I'm the one that filmed the actual bat. But,
yeah, it's not on mine. It's on his.
Yeah.
Which is so fun.
We're going to point it out in a second here coming up.
Soon. Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. But
well,
maybe. Is that
soon.
it? I still have never seen it, so. Oh, zoomed in, I don't see anything.
Yeah, we have to have more light.
And I don't think they really want us using flashlight yet.
Yeah.
So I filmed the bat and never realized it, and still to this day I haven't seen it. But
I kind of had trouble putting the circle around it because you were kind of like, I can't find it.
yeah, I kind of. My camera does not have image stabilization, and the ground you're walking on is not level. So you're up and down and everything, but it's so pretty looking at all these different layers of geology and things like that. And one of the questions I remember one of the kids asking, they're like, are there dinosaur bones in the cave? And the guy goes, how long ago did dinosaurs live? And this little kid is like, 65 million years ago. Oh, yeah, that's mostly accurate. And the guy's like, the cave is 300,000 years old. No dinosaurs. It's like,
yeah.
We wanted to find a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Of course, we actually convinced one of our martial arts students that mammoths actually live in the cave. And
you know, with him, it's kind of like, does he believe you or is he just rolling with it?
It's so
because
hard to
it's
tell.
either way, honestly.
It's so hard to tell. Oh. Yeah, this was just the different colors and the shadows and everything.
Yeah. You saw a little bit of the orange earlier.
It's so pretty. What's funny is the part of the cave that has the algae issue is sealed off. Mm-hmm. And this part of the cave just has a giant opening.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure why Well, this one is also much darker too. And I'm thinking that the one that had the algae issue, I think it had more of the issue because the lighting was more. Whereas this one...
Posting about video games. I'm posting this. We post something about all the achievements that we get. You know, achievement unlocked. Pee in a cave.
Honestly, I thought you said be in a cave instead of pee in a cave.
No, being in a cave, I've done that numerous times. I have never once gone to the bathroom in a cave. Especially not in the world's nicest underground bathroom. That place was sweet.
Well, it's the only underground bathroom that... Well,
It's an authentic natural box.
Other than in a subway station, I guess, that would be an underground.
It was nicer than most subway stations. It was super clean.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, it was nicer than the bathrooms in subway restaurants. Except half of the wall was just rock. The other half was tile, which was weird. It was a cave. And the funny part is, I mean, it's barely doing enough to light up this cave.
Darkness. That's one of the things that's kind of lacking when you lighten up a cave footage like this, is the all-encompassing darkness. It's both comforting and disturbing at the same time. And it's also got like... It's got a powerful presence to it in the little pieces that you can see, but it's really, you know...
It is, being in a cave is a very different experience because there's ambient noise, but at the same time there's a stillness to it. There's almost no airflow inside of a cave. There are piles and piles and piles, especially in this cave, piles of rocks, huge slabs of rock. And at one point I asked one of the rangers, you know, aren't you worried that's going to fall? And she's like, it's been there for 40,000 years. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you're looking at it and you're like, it looks like it could slide, but it is just so massively heavy that it's just not going anywhere. Yeah. Most of the noise you hear inside a cave like this is man-made, which is weird. Yeah. Like I said, when they had us be quiet so that we could hear and experience what is... Mammoth Cave is like the second darkest place on the planet. And it's the quietest place on the planet.
No, it's one of two places where you can see absolute darkness.
Right. The other's the Marianas Trench.
Yeah. Which I think it's got a lumen factor to it, to qualify as absolute dark. Because I know it's like, there's places that are super dark, but they just don't have like the lumen factor or whatever.
But when you turn off the lights, I mean, it literally is like standing there with your eyes closed. You can put your hand right in front of your face. You have no way of knowing it's there. I would like to say that I experience absolute quiet. That would be a total lie. So like I said, that little kid just belted out screaming. And when we were walking through this part, for reasons I don't understand, and it's just one of those funny things that happens when you're on vacation, a group of Amish teenagers were going through the cave, and for whatever reason got to like the center junction point of the cave and just started to sing church hymns.
It was beautiful. It was a cappella, and it was just absolutely gorgeous voices.
It was, but it was so weird.
It was just so gorgeous, and like the sound quality was amazing. Because like that was like the section that was, I believe, called the chapel, right?
No, they were nowhere near the chapel. They were in the walkthrough part. Chapel was another tour.
But I mean, it was just, the acoustics was wonderful. I mean, you could hear them singing for a long ways. And it was just gorgeous.
Yeah, they were nowhere near us.
Yeah, it was truly, truly gorgeous.
We couldn't even see them. That's how far away they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of walkways in this, which was weird to have this walkway, but it wasn't... Like, what I'm walking on is not actually concrete. It has almost like a softer mush feel to it.
It was kind of like the remnants of the saltpeter mining, I think.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
So...
It definitely wasn't smooth.
No, it was like... They had a gentleman that they mentioned come through, do the tour after he had helped lay some of these paths. But it's like a flat path that they filled in with like the really fine stuff to give it a solid but smooth kind of feel to it.
It looks like pavement. It's not.
It's not.
There are parts that are paved. The stairs were paved and things like that. But in many cases,
No,
they
a lot
were
of the
kind of.
stairs were metal.
They were there were staircases that were metal. There were some stairs that were made out of rock, but it was almost like they were more carved out of the thing like that, which I find amusing because you go to a place like this and it's a nature preserve, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about, you have to preserve nature, don't damage anything, don't take anything from it, etc., while you're walking on a clearly man-made paved pathway.
Well, the other thing though with that is that those were made before a lot of those regulations were there.
I know. I just
and a
find
lot
it
of
funny.
the damage was done to this cave before. Like, I think part of the reason why the entrance to this historic tour and the self-guided tour was so wide, I mean, it was probably like 10 people wide. I think that was just
Or
to get
more.
the equipment for the saltpeter mining through.
It's also,
honestly.
I think that was a natural opening, though. I think that was more.
Yeah, I mean, it was partially natural, but I mean, it was everything was so level, so flat, so smooth. And I think
It's definitely been modified.
Yeah, I think it was modified, honestly, at first for the mining operation that they had in there.
Yeah.
And they had that chapel down there that they actually did services down there for. So that was also one. They have scorch marks from where they lit a tree on fire, a Christmas tree. So...
Well, they were talking, they had this game where you would, like, take these things of, like, paper that was lit on fire and throw them up into the cave, and that was how you would light the service. And I'm sitting there like, that sounds like a remarkably dumb idea.
Yeah, so there are a lot of scorch marks in that area.
But we are coming to the end of our video here. A lot of what this is just different areas that we had walked through and stuff like that. There was a giant area, which I think is what we're looking at, where the cave had collapsed like thousands of years ago and things like that. And there was basically this giant debris pile that was frozen in time because it's just too big to clear. And who really wants to clear it?
Well, and some of it might have been dumpage from the saltpeter mining too, I think.
Some of it, that one itself, the one that I was referring to, was specifically a cave-in because I looked it up.
Okay.
But if you can go to Mammoth Cave down in Kentucky, definitely do it. Order your tickets in advance. Definitely do that.
Some of the cooler ones that we wanted to do were sold out weeks in advance. So,
But do that and definitely do the self-guided tour. And we are coming to the end of the video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you can get there, or if you've been there and know something else that we didn't mention, let us know. Talk to you later. Bye.
hope you enjoyed.